If your XLOOKUP works perfectly and then suddenly turns into #ref the moment you point it to another workbook, you're not alone. The tricky part is that the formula can look correct, yet Excel still can't resolve the reference. In this video, you'll learn the reliable ways to use XLOOKUP across workbooks, including what changes when the source file is closed. We'll cover the exact causes of #ref, the safest way to build external references, and how to keep your links stable when files move. You'll also learn when XLOOKUP simply can't do what you want with a closed workbook, and what to use instead. By the end, you'll have a practical checklist you can apply in any model. No hacks, just repeatable methods that hold up in real files. Let's start with what #ref actually means in this specific situation. Next step. When Excel shows #ref, it's telling you the formula is pointing to something that no longer exists, or can't be interpreted. With another workbook, that something is usually a sheet name, a range address, or the workbook path. A common cause is renaming the source sheet after building the formula. Another is that the referenced workbook moved folders, so the saved path is wrong. And sometimes the reference was created in a way that only works while the other workbook is open. There's also a subtle one. Your lookup array or return array is not the same size, which can happen if you reference whole columns in one workbook and a fixed range in the other. The fix starts by identifying which part is broken: workbook, sheet, or range. Once you know that, you can choose the right repair, instead of rewriting everything from scratch. Next step. Let's talk about the correct shape of an external reference, because most problems start here. Excel needs 3 pieces: the workbook name, the sheet name, and the cell or range address. When the source workbook is closed, Excel typically stores the full path too, like a folder location. If you build the reference by typing it manually, it's easy to miss quotes around a sheet name with spaces or to place brackets in the wrong spot. The most reliable method is to create the reference by clicking the source range while both workbooks are open. That way, Excel writes the syntax for you. Then you can wrap XLOOKUP around it. The key takeaway is simple. Don't fight the external reference format. Let Excel generate it, then you adjust only the parts you truly need, like locking ranges or switching to structured references. Next step. Now let's build a cross-workbook XLOOKUP the stable way. First, open both workbooks. In the destination workbook, start XLOOKUP with your lookup value. For the lookup array, switch to the source workbook and select the exact column or range that contains the keys, like customer IDs. For the return array, select the matching range that contains the value you want back, like a price or region. Then close the parentheses and test it while both files are still open. At this stage, focus on correctness, not elegance. Once it returns the right result, lock the ranges if you plan to fill the formula down. Use absolute references so the external range doesn't slide. Finally, save both files. This matters because the saved state is what Excel uses to store and refresh external links later. Next step. Here's the big gotcha. XLOOKUP can behave differently when the source workbook is closed, depending on what you reference. If you reference normal cell ranges, like A2 to A5000, Excel can usually evaluate that from a closed file through the external link. But if you reference dynamic constructs, like certain spilled ranges, or you rely on named items that aren't stored in a simple way, the formula may fail or return inconsistent results. Another common issue is referencing entire columns across workbooks. It can work, but it can also be slow and more fragile, especially when the source file is closed and Excel has to parse huge ranges. A practical rule is to reference a bounded range, or even better, convert the source data into an Excel table and reference table columns. That tends to keep links cleaner and more resilient. Next step. If you're getting #ref, specifically after closing the source workbook, run this quick diagnostic. First, reopen the source workbook. If the formula immediately works again, your reference is valid, but Excel can't evaluate it closed. That points to the type of reference you used. Next, check whether you referenced a spilled range using the hash sign, like A2 hash. Across workbooks, that can be unreliable when closed. Replace it with a fixed range, or better, a table column reference. Then check for named ranges. If the name is workbook scoped and not accessible the way you expect, Excel may not resolve it externally. Finally, check if the source workbook is in a trusted location or blocked, because security settings can prevent external content from updating properly. The goal is to isolate the cause in minutes, not hours. Next step. One of the best long-term fixes is to use tables in the source workbook. Put your source list into an Excel table and give the table a clear name, like TBL Customers. Then your XLOOKUP can point to TBL Customers Customer ID as the lookup array and TBL Customers Region as the return array. The advantage is that tables automatically expand as you add new rows, without you editing ranges. They also reduce the temptation to reference entire columns, which can slow down calculations. There is one trade-off. External structured references can look intimidating, especially when Excel inserts the full file path. But functionally, they're usually more robust than ad hoc ranges. If you're building a model that other people will maintain, tables are often the difference between it works on my machine and it works everywhere. Next step. Another major source of #ref is broken paths. External links store where the source workbook lived when the link was created. If you email the destination file without the source, or you move folders, Excel may not find the file and the link can break. The best prevention is consistent file organization. Keep linked workbooks in the same parent folder, or use a shared location that doesn't change. If you must move files, move them together, preserving relative structure. When things are already broken, you can repair them by changing the source for the link, so Excel updates the stored path. Also, pay attention to workbook names. If someone adds final v3 to the file name, your formulas may still point to the old name. Stable naming conventions are not glamorous, but they save real time. Next step. Let's make your XLOOKUP more resilient with a couple of practical formula patterns. First, use the if not found argument so you don't confuse missing key with broken link. Return something like not found or check source file, depending on your workflow. Second, consider wrapping the whole XLOOKUP in if error, but do it intentionally. If error is useful for catching #ref and showing a clearer message, yet it can hide other issues you actually want to notice. A good compromise is to return a message that tells you what failed, like link error for #ref cases. Third, keep lookup arrays and return arrays aligned in size and orientation. If one is vertical and the other is horizontal, results can be unexpected. These small choices turn a fragile external lookup into something you can trust. Next step. Sometimes the best fix is to avoid cross-workbook formulas altogether. If you need the destination file to work independently, consider importing the source data instead of linking to it. Power Query is a common choice because it pulls data from another workbook and stores it inside your file. Then XLOOKUP runs against local data and closed file issues disappear. Another option is to consolidate into one workbook with separate sheets, if your organization allows it. The trade-off is refresh management. Imported data can become stale if you don't refresh it, while links update more automatically when files are accessible. The right choice depends on whether you value independence or live connection. If your audience opens the destination workbook without access to a source, importing is often the more reliable design. Next step. Let's wrap this into a simple checklist you can reuse. First, build the XLOOKUP while both workbooks are open, and let Excel create the external reference. Second, use bounded ranges or tables, not entire columns, especially across files. Third, test what happens when the source workbook is closed, because that's where hidden assumptions show up. Fourth, lock down your file paths with stable folder structure and consistent naming. Fifth, add intentional error handling so you can tell the difference between not found and link broken. And if the workbook must travel, consider importing the data instead of linking. If you apply just these steps, you'll eliminate most REFE surprises. If you want, I can also do a follow-up focused on tables versus Power Query for this exact use case. Before you go, tell me your situation. Do you prefer live links between files or importing data into one file, A or B? And if this walkthrough helped, subscribe for more Excel deep dives. Subscribe to keep optimizing your workflow and get back more of your time.